I'm Joyce, and I'm from the Highland Park Senior Producers, and today we have a guest, Robert Moss either, and he's highly talented and so educated and so many positions he's had, and today he's going to talk about the book he's written called Vibes from the Screen, Getting More Enjoyment from Films. However, he has a background in psychology and law, and prior to retiring, he was a district judge in Dallas, Texas for 23 years. Hello, Bob. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And he's going to tell you all about films and his book he's written, and we're going to start right now. First of all, did you want to say anything introductory, or should I just start? Okay, I'll start. How did a lawyer and judge become a film teacher, critic, and author? Please describe your path. Connecting these dots is not intuitive.
No, it's not intuitive, but my family took me to films when I was really young. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can remember going to films back in the 40s.
Yeah.
And I just grew up seeing a lot of films.
Uh-huh.
And then when I got older and out on my own, I kept it up, and I'd go to at least 2 movies a week, sometimes 3, and it just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got through with the practice of law and being a judge, when I retired from the bench,
uh-huh.
I decided I wanted to do something for me.
Uh-huh. You're right.
So I went back and took a few film courses at Northwestern's film school,
mm-hmm.
the very basic stuff,
mm-hmm.
and then I self-educated with the materials from the Directors Guild, the Writers Guild, all those different things.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I started leading groups at the OSHA Lifelong Learning Institute.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Could anybody go or join, or?
It's for people 50 and older.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to be retired. We have some people that are semi-retired,
mm-hmm.
some people that are fully retired.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest person that I think we have right now is 95.
Oh, and they're coherent and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so you just got to be eager to learn.
Yeah.
And
sounds interesting.
It does. So I developed the course on going to see films and analyzing, and that's where the book came from.
Oh, I see. So where is it located, the class?
Well, I teach downtown.
At
Northwestern downtown.
Around Chicago Avenue?
On Chicago Avenue. There are also classes on the Evanston campus on Davis Street.
Oh.
So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess that's how you got into films. You've always been connected with them one way or another.
And these days I see about 10 films a week.
Really? Oh, my.
Yeah, between going to the movies and streaming and
I
DVD.
saw the movie yesterday about that Mary, Queen of Scots. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, is it interesting? Okay, what was your goal in writing Vibes from the Screen, getting greater employment from films?
Well, as we did a lunchtime film group,
mm-hmm.
where people went to see a feature film out in the theater, mm-hmm. and would come back and analyze it and talk about it. And we developed a style about talking about it and mm-hmm. how to analyze
mm-hmm.
it. And one of the first rules I have is you can never say whether you like the film or not. I don't care.
Uh-huh.
We've got to look at the elements of the film. What is happening? What got to you? And as we did that, people started saying, you know, I'm enjoying films a lot more by using these
mm-hmm.
process. So after doing that for a couple of years, I decided to put it all down on paper
mm-hmm.
to see what we were doing, and eventually wrote the book because I had so many people saying they were getting so much out of it. And it wasn't me, it was the process that they were getting something out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to show the book now. Can you see it? I don't know. Can you enlarge it? Can they enlarge it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is it. It's called Vibes from the Screen, Getting Greater Enjoyment from Films by Bob Moss. It's the movie watcher's guide to how filmmakers communicate with viewers, correct?
And that's the whole key. What is the filmmaker, and by filmmaker it's everybody, the director, the cinematographer, the editor, the actor, all these people. How are each of these people communicating to you in order to get what they're feeling, their message across? And if you understand that and understand what each of these filmmakers are doing, you'll notice it and you'll get greater enjoyment. For example, I ask people about music in a film, and most people go, well, I don't know, I didn't really pay attention to the music.
I used to love the musicals years ago.
But every movie has music. Usually about a third of the film has music.
Oh,
But people are not paying attention.
yeah.
But the music, the tone, the pace, the whole thing is communicating something to you, and it's part of the storytelling.
Oh, I see.
Okay? Just the way the lighting is part of the storytelling, or the lack of lighting. And then sometimes there's dialogue, sometimes there isn't. Well, there are plenty of films where the actors say nothing, but their faces say everything.
They can show, yeah.
Okay? So.
Okay. When you watch a film, what criteria are you looking for in order to enjoy it?
Well, for me, acting, obviously, you want to see the acting. I want to see the cinematography, the camera work and the lighting. What are they doing with it? How is that conveying stuff to me? The editing, is it smooth? Is it jagged? For example, there are some films that are made with handheld cameras.
Oh.
Okay. Well, they're usually shaky, and they're rushing around the person and going around, and I don't like those.
Oh, no.
I understand why they use, but I don't like them. That shakiness, that rushing around the person takes away from the film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Give me a steady camera, can be moving, but keep it steady. I can concentrate more on what's going on in the film.
Oh.
Now, sometimes the camera and the thing is done on purpose to create what's going on. Like, for example, the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
Yeah.
When they opened it up, they were trying to show you the fervor of the streets and what's going on in the streets and all the people rushing. Well, you do that by moving the camera around with the people. And so, if you notice what they're doing with the camera, it really helps tell the story.
I see.
Nothing that you see on the screen is there by chance.
Oh, there's a reason for it.
Okay. Everything in a movie is there for a reason. Everything on the screen, it might be in the corner, but it's important.
Yeah.
So when I watch a movie, I'm always in the back row of the theater.
Oh.
I want to see the entire screen at one time without moving my head. I just want to watch it, but I can see all the edges.
Oh.
Okay, and if it's a foreign film, I can read the subtitles, again, without moving my head back and forth.
Oh.
So I always tell people, go to the back of the theater to watch a movie.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, people don't know that.
So.
Right. Yeah. So, what would you use to describe the importance of words in a film?
As I just sort of got through saying, there are times when the words are important. They're conveying an important part of the message. There are times when silence is important. And purists will say silence is a sound just like any other sound.
Oh. And
so the silence and the facial gesture might tell you a lot more than the words do. I see this more in the foreign films than I see it in the American films. For whatever reason, American directors are reticent to allow the actors to be quiet for too long. They'll allow some, but not as much. The foreign films, they're a lot better off. And there's a movie with Juliette Binoche, and I can't remember the name of it. It was an Italian movie where her son had died. She says very little the entire movie.
Oh, really?
But all her movements in the film, her facial gestures tell everything. Another one by Kristen Scott Thomas, I've Loved You So Long. Her face takes you all the way through. The pain, the agony, then eventually the joy. None of that comes from the words. It all comes from watching.
Oh.
So some movies, the words are important, and you need to hear it, particularly the movies that are trying to get a strong message out. But movies about people, I think, are a lot more without words. Leslie Manville in Another Year, she had words. She had quite a bit of dialogue. But the most important part of her role came from what she wasn't saying.
Oh. A person really has to see a movie more than once to get to see everything.
I think you do. Okay? I think you need to see a movie twice. The first time, you're just going to sit there and watch the movie. You're going to take it in. You'll see some little things. I mean, people like me see more than others, but you see. But a second time, you'll go see really lots of detail and get so much more out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I have the people that take my classes know they're supposed to watch a film at least twice, if not more. So, you know, when I'm preparing for class, I've probably seen the film 6 or 7 times.
Really? Yeah. Are your classes during the day or in the evening? Or?
During the day.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite director, film critic?
Well, my favorite film critic was Roger Ebert.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the way he wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And, you know, he avoided telling you too much of the story.
Really?
And he concentrated more on the underlying stuff of the story and what the directors were trying to say in the real life. I really enjoyed that. And I don't think anyone writes the way he does anymore. In terms of a director, hard to say. I guess Christoph, oh God, my memory, Kozlowski, and Mike Lee. Those are my favorite directors. And mainly because they concentrate on the human nature a lot more. And then they get their actors to really express it and show it. And that's good. You know,
So that's why they rank at the top of your list, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take us inside the pages of vibes from the screen and share just a few tips for more informed watching.
Well, I've been doing that.
Anything to add that you forgot?
The book takes you through each of the, I don't want to say the major departments, but you know, the ones most commonly looked at. So we start off with the script writing and what goes into that. Then we get into the directing, the actors, the cinematographer's role and how the cinematographer and editor work together, and then eventually editing. But we talk about the angles of the camera, what each angle is intended to do, and and the lens size, lens length. What's that supposed to do in communicating with you? The lighting, behind the person, in front of the person.
There's so many details.
There are so many details, and you don't have to know them all. All I want you to do is just notice them and notice where the light's coming from. Okay?
Have you ever been in any films?
Not in any films.
No, I always wanted to be in films, but this is the best I could get so far.
No, I've never done
Waiting
films.
for my Academy Award.
I've never done films.
Oh,
but,
okay.
And then towards the end, I take 4 films, and I analyze each one thoroughly. What's happening in the film, what the cameraman is doing, what the lighting is, what's the message of the color they're using.
Oh, wow, there's so much you have to know.
Because
Wow.
colors are there for a reason. I told you, nothing's on the screen for no reason.
There's
always something there.
Yeah, there's a reason.
I mean, I'll give you a real simple thing.
Okay.
The Last Emperor. Okay, there's a little boy, and Peter O'Toole is supposed to teach him. He brings him a bike. The bike is green.
Oh.
Because the cinematographer was very much into colors, and green means education, learning.
Does it? Oh.
So that's what he went to. In Lone Star,
Oh, yeah.
there's a whole scene with the orange and blue. It's to convey the coolness of the room
Oh, yeah.
and what it means and what's happening there. So everything, every color
Has
is
a reason.
used for a reason.
Yeah.
Every filter, and most of the time we won't see the filter color that the camera's using. Our eye won't catch that.
Oh.
But it does, if you saw it with or without, you'd go, wait a minute, there's a difference in the picture. So
Yeah.
they do that.
So, okay, this is a good one. How do you feel about people watching films on their tablets or phones? I don't do that, I know.
I think it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Films are not made for something that
For
small.
somebody's telephone.
And so you're going to miss, number
Yeah.
one, you're going to miss detail.
Yeah.
And number two, you won't get the feeling.
And how wide could it be? Everything would have to be in miniature to
Right.
get it all in there.
You know, you just won't get the feeling that they're trying to convey.
Yeah.
Now, because there's so much going on television through Netflix and Amazon and stuff,
Right.
some of the directors are beginning to demand equipment that let them bring things down a little,
Oh.
so that they will shoot for the smaller screen.
Oh.
Okay, and so one of the things they're doing is, you know, it used to be the director would sit next to the cameraman and look through the lens
Yeah.
or look right at it.
Yeah.
They sit off in the corner with a monitor, TV monitor or computer monitor, and usually like a 50-inch monitor. And the whole idea is that's what is going to be on the screen at home. They want to see what it looks like at home.
Oh.
So they're filming for that size.
Oh, I see. So there's a reason, yeah.
So they're beginning to adjust to that.
Oh.
But there are other directors who say, no, I'm only making it for the big screen.
Yeah.
And that's where a movie's supposed to be seen.
Yeah, I feel that way. Yeah, I never watch it on anything
There's
smaller.
a big difference between going to the theater and watching it on the big screen
Yeah.
and watching it at home. Even on a big screen at home, there's a difference.
Yeah.
You know, I have an 86-inch TV at home
I didn't know there was such a size.
with a surround sound. But that's nowhere close to what it's like at the theater.
Oh.
You know, with a 40-foot screen.
Oh.
You get so much more on the outside.
Yeah.
And you get the whole different impact. And your attention is drawn differently. When it's small, you can't help but look at the whole picture. Your attention isn't being drawn to one little thing. So, which they wanted you to. So, you know, that's the other thing I talk in the book is, whose point of view is it from? Which character is the movie shot from? And how do they get your attention to something? Do they zoom in? Do they put light on it?
Yeah.
What is it that gets your attention to paying attention to it?
Yeah, and
So that
someone
it
else is
fits.
going around, and you know, in your home, probably
So,
interference, you know, other phones ringing.
well, that's
I
another
have 3
problem.
phones.
Yeah, but I'm just against anyone watching films on anything
Not the
that's small.
same. A movie should be in a theater.
Right.
That's where it belongs, yeah. Sometimes on TV, but still it's not the same. It's not.
But if you're going to do it on TV, get yourself a large screen TV.
Oh, right.
So you can really enjoy it.
Do you think that movie theaters will ever disappear and that people will only watch movies at home?
I regret to say that my answer is yes, I do.
Why is that? Because of the way it's going, you mean?
Yeah, movie theaters are really fighting for crowds, particularly in the States.
Oh, yeah, so many people take films home and watch them.
Well, I went to, multi-cinema this week. They had 7 theaters going. And they had 120 people in the total between the 7 theaters.
Oh, really?
They can't survive on that.
Right.
The movie people. And it's interesting because overseas, the people are still going to the theaters.
Oh.
And American producers make their money overseas.
Really?
They don't make their money here.
Oh.
They hope to break even here to pay the expenses, but the real money comes overseas. Vice versa, foreign films do terribly in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And because people don't want to have to read subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
And they get all upset. So there are very few foreign films come to Chicago. There were a lot more coming to New York. But even so, when I get a list every week of all the films released, say, from France, I would say 98% of them never make it here.
Really? There's not too many current ones that I could find in the library. I like French films.
So, it's what does the audience want?
Yeah.
So, in America, people are watching on the smaller screens, and the streaming itself, you don't have to have a tablet. You can stream to your TV, but you're still taking away from the theater.
Yeah, people say, oh, movies are so expensive now, so they'd rather, watch it at home. People are always spending the evening watching films,
Well, and there's some truth to that. Movies cost $12 to $15.
Correct.
And you can't do a double header anymore.
No,
like
you can't
could
sneak in another one. They clean it out and they look for it.
So
maybe you can hide in the washroom.
So it is an experience. Time you go there, pay the parking, go to the movie. Refreshments. It's an expensive evening.
Yeah.
So there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
But again, part of that is the cost of making them.
And people don't care about it. They just want to see the film, some people, that's all.
Well,
I saw a film yesterday, Mary, Queen of Scots. Very good movie, but it was in English and they still had subtitles. And besides the subtitle, the actor would repeat the same words that the subtitle showed. And at first, the person in charge had to read it to the people, whatever it said, but later the print got bigger for the subtitles.
Well, the fact they had subtitles was what the person showing it put in.
Oh, I see.
The movie didn't show in the theater with subtitles.
It didn't make sense because the actor would say the same thing.
Well, you're watching the film and subtitles are added.
Those are big letters.
But with a Scottish film, with a British film, Americans go, I need it. I can't understand the accent. So. And then people say, I can't watch subtitles, I can't keep up with the film. Oh, yeah,
that's true, too.
Well, if you do like I say...
I watch subtitles on everything I watch, any program.
Well, if you sit in the back and watch the subtitles and listen to the tone and the pace of the foreign language, you'll get there.
Oh.
And it won't bother you.
Oh, okay. So actually, people should go to a class like yours if they really want to learn so much about it, because on their own, they wouldn't know.
Well, if they want to learn how to appreciate it more and get more out of it.
How long is a class?
14 weeks.
Oh, I mean, and how long each time?
3 hours.
Oh, really? And you show a film at the time?
No, I show film clips to talk about them.
So you can, get more involved with the other films. Yeah, so how long have you been doing that?
7, 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
Been a while.
Oh, okay, so that's good. Do enough people know about it? I mean, I didn't know about it.
My classes all sell out.
Oh, do they? That's good, yeah.
So, I have a following and people.
They keep coming, sure.
Yeah, I mean, when we had the lunchtime program, there'd be about 120 people.
Oh, you're kidding.
But-
My goodness.
For the regular 14-week class, I average around 35 people.
Oh, and that's at Northwestern downtown.
Yeah. So, but the good thing
They
is,
don't get- do
just
they
read
get
the
any-
book, you'll get enough, you'll be able to do it.
Do they get credit? They don't get credit for
No.
that. Here's the book again for anybody that wants to see. I can't wait to read it. Vibes from the Screen.
So, available on Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is the only book you've written?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm glad that it's so successful, and I've learned a lot already just listening to you. So what do you think? Films are here to stay, or what?
Oh, films will be here forever.
Forever, yes. Starting. Do you ever have silent films? Do you show?
I have. So,
And the piano playing,
yeah.
and all that
Yeah, actually,
motion.
one of the people who works the classes with me is a composer, and
Oh.
he was an organ player. So
Oh, so
he does
that's
that
good. Yeah, and so you have your next. How often is your class? Every week?
yeah, when we're running it, it's every week.
Oh, and you know just what you're going to show ahead of time, like you have to, right?
I plan the whole 14 weeks.
Oh, really, really, good for you. Boy, people really get their, I don't know what charges, they get their money's worth anyway. Yeah, it's good to know about it, because I'm tempted to come. If there's an opening, it's probably sold out, standing room only, right?
No, we
No,
never get
okay.
that.
All right, because I go downtown to Chicago all the time. Actually, I get my hair done there. I go to a dentist. I go to a physician. I'm always downtown. I meet friends because I lived in Chicago up till 20 years ago. Last place was the Hancock Building. And, yeah, so you're really an asset. Do other people do what you do? I mean,
Yeah.
there are others?
And there's 4 people doing it in Northwestern.
Oh, okay, but elsewhere too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not familiar
The
knowing about
University of Chicago has it.
who?
The University of
Oh,
Chicago.
yeah,
downtown.
the colleges.
And the Evanston campus has a couple of film classes. National Lewis.
Oh, yeah,
has
nothing out here in the northern
Well,
suburbs?
that's at Old Orchard.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
easier to get
And
downtown than over.
some of the synagogues and churches have them.
Oh,
So you
that's
just got to look
interesting.
around.
Yeah, so thank you so much for
Well, thank
telling
you for
us
having me.
And thank you, and very interesting. Go out and get this book. Here it is again. You'll learn a lot. If you can't go to the class, read the book. That's an equal thing, right? Okay, thank you. So, that's it.